Hey Evil Dead fans, this is the first tutorial on how to make the Book of the Dead. Now, the one we're going to work on is the one from Evil Dead 2. Now, before we get started, I'm going to answer a question that I mentioned in a past video that nobody's answered correctly. What actor or actress was in Season 1 of Ash vs. Evil Dead and one of the Evil Dead or Army of Darkness movie? Now, that character was Cyan Davis. She played Vivian in episode 1 of season 1 as Ash's elderly neighbor who cleaned his trailer. And she also played as the old lady in the basement in the remake of Evil Dead. Look it up. It's totally true. So now I'm going to give you another question to win the book. The question is, in Army of Darkness, there was a famous actress who had a non-speaking role. What was her name? Now, to repeat that question, in Army of Darkness, there was a famous actress who had a non-speaking role. What was her name? All right, let's get to the book. Now, this is the book that I've done, and the book I'm going to do actually is going to look a lot better, so I'm jealous of who's going to actually win this thing. Now, what you want to do is get a hardback book. You can go to the store, buy one, just go to the bin, the bargain bin, just buy something cheap. Just make sure it's not a glossy cover. Just make sure it's kind of porous so that the glue that you're going to use actually will stick to it. Now, depending on what book you do, you can pick a different size. You can pick it smaller, you can pick it bigger. You can do whatever you want. Now, what you want to do is you want to rip out the pages. You may not want to rip them out. It's just kind of up to you. And you want to use toilet paper. And you want to use Elmer's glue. You want to have a paintbrush and have some water and toilet paper. Just don't use like a heavy ply toilet paper because it's a pain in the ass. Trust me, you want a lighter ply. Now, what you want to do is mix your glue up with water to like a kind of a milky consistency of it. You don't want it too thick because it wants to rip the toilet paper. Now, once your book has the pages ripped out, you can actually cut the corners off if you want to. You want to actually take the toilet paper and roll them up into like worms or lines. And before you actually put it on the book, you want to trace out where your lines are going to go. Basically, with this step, it's all about putting on depth. That's it. Now, I started this one already, and I'll show you how it's looking. If you notice, there's a lot of toilet paper and glue on there. And it's just to get some depth in it. And we're actually going to put a lot more depth in there with some different products before we're done. But I like to have a nice solid base. Now when you put it on, you want to remember to trace your lines out. Put down your glue with the water. And then put your rolled pieces on there. Then re-glue them again. And you want to start getting depth. Pile it up as many times as you want to. There's going to be another step on actually getting like sharp areas like this in weird spots like this here. But this is the first step on how to do it. The next step that we're going to do is we're actually just going to take out squares of the toilet paper and actually lay them flat, then put on the glue water to kind of give it a skim look. Now, when you do this, if it's kind of like sticking out, kind of has like a, I don't know, like a look as if a blanket's like draped over something, that's good. That's really good. It will look good. But that's going to be the next step. By the time I make my next video, that's going to be done on this, on the front cover. And one thing you might notice when you're doing it is this cover may start to bow out. But that will be fixed when we actually do the inner cover. And that's just the reaction with water. That's all it is. So, to cover the steps, rip out the pages if you want to. Make sure you got a hardback book. Don't get one with a glossy cover. And use toilet paper, glue, and water, and a brush. Now make sure your brush isn't very brittle. Make sure it's kind of like a loose brush like this so it doesn't like to rip the toilet paper. Get your toilet paper, go square by square, and just roll it up into like worms, basically. Then put them on the lines you've traced out, and you can even ball them up to give yourself a little more depth, but just give it some time to dry before we do the next step. So until next time, you guys have a great day.